Alright folks, let's talk about what's happening at truck dealerships right now because it is absolute chaos. You've got these massive lots filled with trucks that aren't moving, dealers sweating bullets, and manufacturers acting like everything's fine while their inventory numbers tell a completely different story. So picture this. You walk onto a dealership lot today, and you see rows and rows of brand new trucks just sitting there. Shiny, beautiful, fully loaded pickups that should be flying off the lot. But here's the kicker. Some of these trucks have been sitting there for over 700 days. We're talking about trucks that were built in 2023 that are still wrapped in plastic in 2025. That's not normal. That's not how the car business is supposed to work. And the reason why is pretty simple when you break it down. These trucks are ridiculously expensive. We're talking about an average full-size pickup selling for over $70,000 right now. $70,000 for a truck. The average price hit $70,178 in November 2025. Let that sink in for a second. That's more than what entire houses used to cost not that long ago. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but those are probably the super fancy ones with all the bells and whistles, right? Well, sort of. The average pickup price is sitting at $54,600. And even that base number is absolutely insane compared to where we were just a few years ago. Compare that to sedans averaging $37,400 or SUVs at $43,600. Trucks have become the most expensive vehicles on the road by a massive margin. And here's where it gets really interesting. There's this whole narrative about $100,000 trucks destroying the market. Now, are there trucks that cost over $100,000? Absolutely. The Ford F-150 Raptor R with that supercharged V8 will set you back over $100,000. The GMC Hummer EV Carbon Fiber Edition starts at $120,000. The Ram TRX, that's coming back in 2026, is going to be priced above $100,000. But here's the thing that nobody's really talking about honestly. It's actually pretty hard to get a regular luxury truck over that $100,000 mark. Even when you're loading it up with every single option available, the Ford F-150 Limited, the Ram Tungsten, the GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate, even the Toyota Tundra Capstone, they typically top out around the high 80s to low 90s. You really have to work at it to break six figures with a traditional pickup. So why does everyone think trucks cost $100,000? Because that's become the symbol of how out of control pricing has gotten. It's the number that captures how frustrated people are. And honestly, when the average is $70,000 and climbing, we're not that far off anyway. Let me tell you what's actually happening at dealerships right now. Ram, which is part of Stellantis, is getting absolutely crushed. The Ram 1500, Ram 2500, and the Jeep Gladiator are among the slowest selling trucks in America right now. We're talking about trucks sitting on lots for over 6 months on average. 6 months! In the automotive world, that's an eternity. Dealers are supposed to turn inventory every 60 to 90 days. When you're sitting on trucks for half a year, you're hemorrhaging money. And get this, 75% of Ram dealer advertised units are being sold below MSRP. 3/4 of their inventory is being discounted just to try to get people through the door. That tells you everything you need to know about how desperate these dealers are getting. Ford's not doing much better. As of November 2024, they still had over 5,000 brand new 2023 model trucks sitting on dealer lots. These are trucks that were built 2 model years ago that still haven't found a buyer. Ford's trying to clear them out with aggressive incentives. We're seeing 1.9% APR financing on F-150, Lightnings, various cashback deals. But even with all that, these trucks are collecting dust. Chevrolet's got similar problems. The Silverado 1500 had 113 days of supply, with 101,000 new trucks available for sale. That's a mountain of inventory. They're offering 0% financing on some 2026 models, 3.9% APR for 60 months on others, plus various purchase allowances. They're throwing everything at the wall, trying to get these things moving. Now let's talk about why this is happening. Because it's not just one thing. It's a perfect storm of factors that have all come together to create this mess. First, there's the price issue. Truck prices have been climbing steadily for years, but it really accelerated during and after the pandemic. Manufacturers got used to charging premium prices when inventory was scarce. During COVID, people were literally paying above sticker price for trucks. Dealers were adding market adjustments of $10,000, $20,000, sometimes more, and people were paying it because there were no other options. But now inventory's back. The shortages are over, and manufacturers and dealers are still trying to charge pandemic prices in a post-pandemic world. The problem is that customers have woken up and said enough is enough. Then you've got interest rates. Auto loan rates are significantly higher than they were a few years ago. We're talking about rates that have more than doubled in some cases. When you're financing a $70,000 truck at 6% or 7% interest over 72 or 84 months, your monthly payment becomes astronomical. People are looking at monthly payments of $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 or more, and they're realizing they simply can't afford it. There's this rule of thumb in personal finance that your vehicle payment shouldn't exceed 20% of your monthly income. At these prices and interest rates, you'd need to be making six figures just to afford an average truck. That's knocked out huge chunks of the traditional truck buying market. And here's something that really tells the story. There's this phenomenon being called peak truck. It's not that people don't want trucks anymore. Americans still love trucks. But consumer surveys are showing that the number of people who say their next vehicle will be a truck or SUV has dropped by 3%, while the number planning to buy a car has increased by 3%. That might not sound like much, but in an industry this size, that's millions of potential customers shifting away from trucks. Why? Pure economics. When you're trying to make ends meet, and truck prices are at $54,600 versus $37,400 for a car, a lot of families are making the practical choice. They're realizing they don't need a $70,000 Super Duty to drive to work and pick up groceries. And we're seeing this play out in the sales data. Full-size trucks are struggling while smaller, cheaper trucks are doing great. The Ford Maverick, which starts around $23,920, is selling like crazy. The midsize segment, with trucks like the Ford Ranger, Toyota Tacoma, Chevy Colorado, those are the ones moving. People still want trucks. They just want trucks they can actually afford. Let me tell you about another problem that's making this worse. Manufacturers kept pushing trucks up market. They kept adding more luxury features, bigger engines, fancier interiors. The base work truck basically disappeared. Try finding a simple basic pickup with manual windows and a vinyl floor for under $30,000. Good luck. They don't really make them anymore. Or if they do, they make so few that dealers don't even stock them. Dealers were reporting that work truck inventory dropped by 64% year over year at one point. The cheapest trucks just weren't available. Meanwhile, luxury truck inventory with all the premium features was everywhere. Manufacturers made a calculated bet that people would pay for luxury, and for a while, they were right. But they pushed it too far. There's also this issue of what I call feature bloat. Trucks today come with massage seats, panoramic sunroofs, premium audio systems with 15 speakers, head-up displays, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist. The list goes on forever. Some of this stuff is legitimately useful. Some of it's required by safety regulations. But a lot of it is just unnecessary luxury that drives up the price and gives the manufacturer an excuse to charge more. Ram's CEO actually said publicly that he can't afford to build a cheaper full-size truck or they'd lose money. The internet absolutely torched him for that. People pointed out that Stellantis CEO compensation went from 8.6 million euros in 2019 to 40 million euros by 2024. That's a five-fold increase in 5 years. During the same period that Ram and Dodge started struggling and losing market share. So when executives claim they can't build affordable trucks, people smell something fishy. Now let's talk about what dealers are doing to try to fix this. They're throwing incentives at customers like crazy. We're seeing massive cashback offers on trucks like the Jeep Gladiator, Ford's cutting prices on the F-150 Lightning by up to $5,500. GMC Sierra AT4 models are selling for hundreds less than they were the previous model year, which almost never happens. Dealers are offering 0% financing, deferred payment plans where you don't pay for 90 days, purchase allowances, you name it. Some trucks are seeing discounts that make the total savings reach into the thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars when you stack everything together. But here's the dirty secret. Even with all these discounts, many trucks are still overpriced. You can knock $5,000 off a $75,000 truck, and it's still a $70,000 truck. For a lot of families, that doesn't move the needle enough. And there's another problem dealers are dealing with: old inventory that's literally rotting on the lot. When trucks sit outside for 2 years, things start to break down. Seals dry out, batteries die, fluids degrade. You've got new trucks that need service before they can even be sold. That's money out of the dealer's pocket. Dealers finance their inventory through what's called floor planning. Basically, they take out loans to pay for the vehicles they have on the lot, and they're supposed to sell them quickly and pay off those loans. For the first 90 days, there's usually little to no interest, but after that, the interest starts piling up. At 180 days, it becomes a real problem. At 700 or 800 days, dealers are losing significant money every single month these trucks sit there. Some dealers have resorted to moving trucks into their loaner fleets or making them demo vehicles for management just to get some use out of them and potentially get some money from manufacturers for putting them into service. But that creates its own issues, because now you're trying to sell a new truck that has a few thousand miles on it. There's also a growing divide between brands and even between specific models. Toyota trucks, particularly the Tundra and Tacoma, are selling fast. They're consistently among the fastest moving trucks in America. Meanwhile, Stellantis brands are dominating the slowest selling lists. The Ram 2500 is literally the slowest selling truck in America right now. That tells you this isn't just about price. It's also about perception, quality, and reputation. Toyota's built a reputation for reliability over decades, and people are willing to pay a premium for that. Stellantis, on the other hand, has been dealing with quality concerns, particularly around their electronics and infotainment systems. There are reports of dealers having a dozen trucks in the back with electrical issues they can't figure out how to fix. Electric trucks are their own separate disaster. The F-150 Lightning had some early success, but sales have cratered. The Chevrolet Silverado EV and GMC Sierra EV are barely moving. Part of that is price. These things can easily top $100,000 when fully loaded. Part of it is infrastructure concerns about charging. And a big part of it is that the federal tax credit of $7,500 expired, which was a major purchase incentive. The Rivian R1T, which starts at almost $74,000 for the Adventure Edition, sold only 2,399 units through 8 months of 2024, compared to over 19,000 the previous year. That's a catastrophic decline. The GMC Hummer EV is being called a sales disaster. These electric trucks are piling up because at 6 figures, there's just no market for them. Here's what really gets me about all this. Manufacturers and dealers act surprised. They're shocked that people won't pay $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 for a pickup truck. But it's not complicated. Wages haven't kept up with these price increases. According to inflation data, a truck that cost $25,000 in 1983 should cost about $47,600 in 2025, based on general inflation. Instead, the average is $54,600, and the actual selling prices are way higher than that. The median household income in America is around $75,000 after taxes. That's maybe $55,000 to $60,000 in take-home pay. You're telling me someone making that should spend more than an entire year's after-tax income on a truck? It's absurd. The math doesn't work for the vast majority of American families. And yet, manufacturers keep building them, and dealers keep ordering them. We've got this weird disconnect where the industry hasn't adjusted to the new reality. They're still operating like it's 2021 and 2022 when people had pandemic savings and stimulus money burning holes in their pockets and couldn't find any vehicles to buy. There's also this issue of what economists are calling peak truck becoming a broader affordability crisis. The average age of vehicles on the road has hit 12.6 years overall and 14 years for passenger cars. People are holding onto their vehicles longer than ever before because they can't afford to replace them. That's not a sign of a healthy market. When someone's 10-year-old truck finally dies and they go shopping, they're experiencing sticker shock like nothing they've seen before. Their last truck might have cost them $35,000. Now that same type of truck is $60,000 or $70,000. They're not prepared for that, and a lot of them are either buying used, downsizing to a smaller vehicle, or just trying to make their old truck last even longer. The used truck market is interesting because prices there have also stayed pretty high. Used trucks hold their value better than almost any other type of vehicle. But even used prices are starting to soften as more people get priced out of the new market and flood into used, increasing supply there too. What's going to happen? Well, manufacturers are going to have to adjust. We're already seeing signs of it. Ford announced plans to reduce dealer inventory levels and move toward more of a build-to-order model like Tesla. The idea is to carry less inventory, reduce floor plan costs, and give customers more customization options. Chevy, GM, and Ram are going to have to follow suit or keep drowning in inventory. We're probably going to see more aggressive incentives through 2025. End-of-year clearances are going to be brutal as dealers desperately try to clear out 2024 and even 2023 models before 2026 inventory arrives. There's also going to be pressure on manufacturers to bring back more affordable base models. Not everyone needs a $70,000 luxury truck. There's a huge untapped market of people who just want a reliable work truck with a decent engine, 4 doors, and not much else. The first manufacturer that figures out how to deliver that for under $35,000 is going to print money. But the bigger issue is whether manufacturers can actually do that profitably. They've gotten used to high margins on luxury trucks. Going back to basics means lower profit per unit, which means they need to sell more volume to make up for it. That requires retooling, different supply chains, and accepting lower overall profitability. It's not clear the industry is willing to do that. In the meantime, dealers are stuck holding the bag. They've got millions of dollars tied up in inventory that's not moving. They're paying interest on floor plan loans. They're watching trucks depreciate on their lots. And they're caught between manufacturers who keep sending them expensive trucks and customers who can't or won't pay for them. The smart play for buyers right now is to wait if you can. Leverage is shifting to the customer for the first time in years. If you need a truck, you can negotiate. Don't accept sticker price. Don't accept minimal discounts. These trucks need to move, and dealers know it. You should be getting thousands off MSRP, favorable financing terms, and extras thrown in. Target trucks that have been sitting on the lot for a while. You can usually tell by looking at the window sticker or asking when the truck arrived. Anything over 90 days, the dealer is motivated. Anything over 180 days, they're desperate. Use that to your advantage. Also consider last year's models. Those 2024 and especially 2023 trucks that are still around, those are opportunities for serious savings. Dealers will take a bath on those just to clear them out. You might get a brand new truck for $10,000 or $15,000 under what it would have cost a year ago. But the bottom line is this: the era of expensive trucks is hitting a wall. Manufacturers overplayed their hand. They pushed prices too high for too long, and now the market is pushing back. Trucks are sitting on lots, sales are declining, and consumers are saying no. Either trucks become more affordable, or fewer people will buy them. It's that simple. The question is how long it takes the industry to accept that reality and adjust accordingly. Based on the current inventory crisis, I'd say they're learning the hard way right now.